Weeks in,
It's gone quick.
3 months to doing this. Yes, we've done a fair bit in that time, and this week's show, again, when we're between these state events, there's sort of a little bit of time for us to not do much.
Yeah, sit back and have a chat about what we did on the weekend. And
what's going on in most.
in your case, you were down at Marysville doing a rally, and I was at Wakefield Park doing trucks and Wakefield 300.
I was going to say, we'll get to both of those very shortly in the program. Victorian Rally Championship, it was very, very wet down there. There was a bit of other racing going on around the nation as well, which we'll get to a little bit later in the show. But Vic Rally, I tell you what, has been a strong season for them. And though it was a war of attrition down at Marysville, 15 cars going out by the end of the weekend.
Wow,
so
that's huge. And I gather the current 2018 champs aren't doing all that well at the moment.
No, they're having a bit of a struggle. So, Hayes hasn't come back, so he's not running this year.
Well, that's
so
probably a good reason why
that's
it's
a
not
decent
doing well.
struggle. But the others are the championship's wide open, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
everyone
I've
seems
been
to be
looking at results and
different points.
just filing some stuff for auto action, and it's pretty obvious that it's very open at the moment.
Now, thanks to everyone joining us on YouTube as well. We've got a few people over there, so if you want to be able to watch the show into the future, you can go back and watch all the previous shows on YouTube. We probably should make a dedicated live show page on the website so that everyone can go back and have a look right back to episode 1. Now,
see how much we were wrong in
that's
the first
it.
place.
Who knows what's going on? We'll kick things off though with a quick look at the Victorian Rally Championship and their round down at Marysville with the Sheen Paddle Service Marysville stages. That's live stream. That's not the right one. So the wrong video there, unfortunately. We'll come back. That was just a bit of a misplay on the hard drive. We've got a hard drive outside that we put packages on.
Our producer's had a long day as well.
Yes, he's been up for a
since
while.
4:30 this morning. So.
Not with us, unfortunately. We haven't had that much to do. We're still finishing off shows. RX8 Cup going to TV on Monday night. Foxtel Channel 173. We've got the package ready now. The Rally Championship. So we'll take a look at that one. Alright, we'll just have a look at that quickly because we've obviously got some sort of issue with the Vic Rally video. So we'll take a look at some of the other things that are going on around the country. We had a fair bit of racing going on, Gary, that we sort of got to some of it and didn't get to others.
Yeah, well, Wakefield Park, of course, had first round of the Super Truck Racing National Series on the weekend, and interesting round. Robbie Fern got through for his first not only race win, but in the championship. He's won a teams event before, but also won the round and is actually 2 points ahead. We're getting the thumbs up.
Looks like we're getting the thumbs up on the Vic Rally content, so we'll try again to have a play of that. Let's see what goes on and head back to Wakefield.
Trucks.
That's halfway through the video. Did you eject it properly?
Looks like the first round.
Stupid.
This is all it doing to your brain.
Feels that way, doesn't it?
Where's Marysville versus this? Yeah, I know, but that's like half actually.
Yeah, but
Yeah, like it's right.
Aaron Windus and Daniel Brick. Congratulations, first outright.
Thank you very much. Do appreciate that. It's been an awesome day. Obviously, perfectly ideal, and I think after the last two events, didn't plan for anything past stage 2. So it's been awesome. Yeah, couldn't go any better. Look, I think a lot depended on this weekend and getting points to make it worth it. So now that we've got the points that we hopefully need to sort of kickstart the year, I suppose you could say. So Bateman's is on the cards. Yeah.
And a quick moment on the Hoosiers. Are you happy?
Yeah, absolutely. Hoosier tyres have been absolutely mega, and the tyre performed exceptionally well today and held up beyond all expectation as well. So we're extremely happy with that and look forward to a future on the tyre. And of course, I've got to thank the entire Active Rally Sport team who have put together just a fantastic car, and of course my father, who's given me this opportunity to drive this car today. And the season has been very question marked on where the direction was, but I just thank him so much for all his efforts and getting us here. And I tried everything to not let us use that car today, but look, we brought it home without a scratch, and I'm just very thankful to be able to drive it. So.
2, 1, go. Straight on here, and 300, caution crest, possible jump here. Oh, here. Fuck.
Caution.
Crest, possible jump. And 400, road goes right, then 50 metres, road goes hard right. Down here, road goes right, then goes hard right. Next call, 1.2 Ks. How's the grip feel?
Yeah, it's slippery.
Yeah, backing it in. That was definitely a back it in like rainbow moment, that one. Uh, 400, road goes right. Whoa. 200. That could be, this is out, yeah. 600, road goes right. Keep going. I'll try and improvise. Road goes right down here. .500 straight on. Driving well, mate. Straight on here. Oh, yep. 200. Caution straight on over bridge. Then 100 metres, turn left, do not cut. Yep. Finish.
That's actually felt alright. That was a bit of fun.
How short was that?
That was good.
Little shakedown.
That was good. Well done.
watching it, you tend to get on the end of your seat, don't you? And you're thinking, oh, no, go.
I saw during the week guys discussing that how's the grip level is navigators speak for, it's wet, right? Like, maybe just look after yourself.
You're just sliding through there, hitting banks and stuff like that, but they just bounce off and keep going, don't they?
That's it, especially as you saw in the earlier footage from the day highlight. Now, great to see Aaron Windus and Daniel Brick take the victory after 2 pretty difficult rounds to open the season. That kind of gets their campaign sort of on track, heading to Bateman's Bay on the end of June, June 28th to 30th.
With all those braking issues as well. Phenomenal run.
Handbrake was locked on for the first 2 stages, which, as you saw in our footage, was glowing red brake discs, which is not ideal in a Subaru. But Aaron Windus able to drive around. Of course, we saw a lot of Aaron Windus in the last 2 years racing in the Rallycross series, which if you go and check out on Facebook, Rallycross Australia, there's plenty of great action from those guys, and they put on some great races. But now, we head to Bateman's Bay on June 29th, 30th, or 29th, 30th, 28th, 29th, whichever the weekend dates are. I'm so confused at the moment with dates. And there's going to be the next round 4 of the championship.
That's a joint round, isn't it?
That's a joint round with New South Wales and a couple of other series, so it'll be pretty interesting up there. And a few of the Vic guys not making the trek up that are in Sud Championship. I think Wal Lee's not going.
Well, as you said, it's so close.
So they can't go. Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of turnaround to do, and make sure to check out the Victorian Rally Championship Facebook page and YouTube channel. We've got plenty of videos that we're working with them on, and heaps of content coming your way. You'll be able to see pretty much the whole field across our video content from that round, so it'll be pretty interesting. A lot of great stuff. We're going to move forward though and take a look at what was going on with Vic State Series down at Phillip Island across the weekend. Fair few categories running down there. A lot of cars, Gary.
263.
They were.
It's a record for Phillip Island for a Cam State Championship round.
Kept everybody busy. We've got some pictures that we can show of the HQ Holdens as we take a look at their race results.
One of our pet categories, Andrew McLeod, looked like he did the business down there.
That's it.
Getting 3 wins, taking the results ahead of Andrew Magerton and
Magilton. Yeah, we've got some photos to be able to show from down there
in the 3rd race,
which we'll get on screen momentarily. There we go. So HQ Holdens, you can see a pretty decent field, a bit of a lock up there, and McLeod able to take home the victory. That looks like Magilton was actually back down the field as well, and Glenn McDonald was leading the way at one point. So obviously a bit of a battle between a few of those cars. It looks like Jake Beckers was right up into 4th place. He's been having a pretty decent year this year. Around at Sandown was on the podium overall, which we saw. So obviously the top 4 or 5 guys able to go with each other and put on some good battles.
16 cars there. There was also a HQ racing at HQ Series racing up at Queensland Raceway, and they had about a dozen cars.
Yep.
And New South Wales is still fairly strong, as any Blendline viewers would have noticed when we've televised Wakefield Park earlier this year. So the Nationals will again shape up as a fairly significant event.
Over in Tail and Bend, so make sure to check out the Bend Motorsport Park and South Australian HQs. Of course, HQ Extra every Tuesday night for all of your HQ information. The guys missed out this week, but next week they're going to have a big show with a fair bit of information. So,
and we see that at the end of June or beginning of June, we've got a 1 hour enduro.
1 hour enduro 100k race at Sydney Motorsport Park.
Is that
one day?
Short? What's the?
No, it's on the GP circuit, so it'll be interesting. And we got Victorian sports sedans. We're joined by the Nissan Pulsars and under 2 litre sports sedans. Dean Cam led the way in all 3 races there. Francis Habib in the ex-Jason Richards
VZ Commodore,
coming home in 2nd, and Terry Hamilton keeping them honest in the VS Commodore throughout the weekend as well. And then we had the BMW E30s. There's Dean Cam on screen, just in case you didn't know what his Corvette looked like.
Ex-Trans Am car, of course, bought from PJ Knight in New Zealand. I think it's a car that Johnny McIntyre raced out here for a little while. Back in the day, almost, you'd say. It was a fair few years ago that he actually set new records at Winton and at at Phillip Island.
And then we had the BMW E30s, who we know very well as well. Jeremy Payne winning the final race there. Travis Lindorth took home the Saloon Cars final race. As we just have a look through some of the race results, the Hyundai XLs were down there. Benjamin Grice taking home a victory in that
Benny Grice, he's Victorian based these days with his sign and wrap business that he has down there.
55 XLs taking part in the final race of the weekend. Could you imagine how that would look down at turn 1?
I've seen him at Bathurst.
So,
I
yeah,
know what they're like.
I was
Yeah.
going to say they keep on coming and just going and going and going and going, don't they? Historic touring cars were also there on the billing. Michael Michelli in the Ford Mustang, leading home Darrell Hansen, who is very strong at Phillip Island.
And his Mustang.
Historics. So plenty of action. Make sure to get out to the next round of the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championship, which I think is coming up in June. Check
Which
out
will be
Sandown.
Sandown.
Yeah.
There's another 2 rounds at Sandown and Phillip
Mhm.
Island, one each, and Winton is the one that gets round 3 or 4, I think, from memory.
So a bit of racing to be able to go see with them.
Historic touring cars actually ran up at at Morgan Park on the weekend at the Autumn Historic.
Mhm.
They have 2 very significant trophy events.
Yep.
On the weekend, the Bill Campbell Memorial and the Jack Lacey Memorial, and Craig Allen won them both.
There you go. It's good effort.
He didn't
isn't it?
actually cross the line first in the second one. Ian Merritt in the Ford Mustang beat him to the line, but unfortunately copped a 5-second penalty, which dropped him back to 3rd spot.
So unfortunate for him. But we've seen a fair few penalties in state racing recently. I know we were just commentating some IPRA stuff from Sydney Motorsport Park, which you'll be able to see on the new Blendline TV pay-to-view channel on Vimeo. We're going to get sorted out and set up on the website. We're actually this way. I didn't realise we were on that camera, not that camera.
Yeah.
We're getting set up a pay-to-view platform for some of the extra things that we do around the traps with Blendline TV, just to try to get more content out there into the hands of people who want to see it. So keep an eye out on the website and Facebook for that.
This is the thing too, you know, like the more content we show from various categories that are running around, the more feedback we get.
Yep.
The more popular it gets, and everyone helps each other. That's what it's all about.
That's it. So we're trying to do a bit more, as I just try to get some more information up, we're trying to do a bit more with that. So keep an eye out for IPRA and New South Wales Formula Ford, which will be coming out soon, and then we'll work our way through some of the other categories at New South Wales State. RX8 Cup TV Monday night. Make sure to tune in, channel 173 on Foxtel. But I'm kicking things over a little bit of a gear at the moment. We're going to head and have a look at the CAMS New South Wales Hill Climb Championship, which took place on the weekend up at Kempsey with the Mount
Cooperbung.
Cooterbung. I can never get the name out right. Hill Climb. We've got a few
Round
pictures
4
from
of the
there.
championship, followed Fairburn Park down in the ACT, so it gets around a bit.
Yeah.
And 2 rounds prior to that were at Bathurst. Of course, we're going to go back there in November for the Australian Hill Climb Championships.
Mm-hmm. So
Live streaming as well.
the Australian Hill Climb
Which is really
Championships
good
at
news.
Mount Panorama will be live here on Blendline TV. We've got a few pictures from the hill climb to be able to show you guys some of the cars that are going up. Here we go. The Kempsey Hill Climb information from the guys. And you can see vast array of different types of cars getting out there.
And I think Malcolm Osler was the overall winner.
Yep.
That makes 4 rounds in a row. So he's gearing
20
up.
Yep, 22.3 seconds in that thing there.
Yeah.
The OMS 2B was the run of the day, so pretty good effort.
Yeah, and I think Dean Ty was 2nd.
Yep, that's correct.
In
22.9.
jet-powered Dallara.
Dallara F3. And in Formula Libre over 2000cc, we had Malcolm Osler, who did a 22.3, so he took that one out as well as the outright. Kendall O'Connor in a Mazda MX-5 took out the 2A class with a 28.7.
Lots of classes.
There are lots of classes we look down the list, so
we haven't got that much time to go through them all.
improved production late model went to David Hussey in a Ford Laser with a 31.9.
Yeah,
so
I don't think he was the fastest tin top though.
No.
Be either Phil Heafy or
Yep.
someone like that would have been quickest there.
Oh, you had.
But certainly open wheelers dominated proceedings. So generally speaking, the open wheelers will always win, but unless you do sometimes get an instance like we did recently. I think it was down at Rob Roy where because it was raining, one of the 4-wheel drive cars, the sedans, actually was setting quicker times to start with, and there was just one little dry period there for a moment, and
snapped through.
They snapped through and pinched the outright fastest time off him.
So good to see for the New South Wales Hill Climb Championship. Make sure to check out their page on Facebook as well for a bit more information on when the next round of the championship is going to be. Of course, November 2 and 3 will be at Bathurst. We're actually heading up to Bathurst next weekend, not this one coming, but the next one, to check out their club Championship Hill Climb Day on the Sunday, the 18th of May. So if you want to see some action at Mount Panorama, get yourself out there because there'll be some cool cars definitely to see.
Easy to get to, just go up the back road where most of the spectators head up to the top of the mount, find your spot and just settle in.
There's plenty to see.
Take a rug because it might be a bit chilly.
I was going to say, it might be pretty cold up there at that time of the year, but you know,
never know.
Why not get up there and have a run? That's it, as we can see. So they'll be, the end of May. What have we got? 21st of July, Oakland Park at Tamworth is the next round for the New South Wales Hill Climb Championships. 9th of June even. That would work better, wouldn't it? June is probably better.
Long weekend.
So Mountain View in Grafton for the next round in June. That'll be a good time of the year to get up to Grafton, try to get warm.
A little bit warmer there.
Yeah, exactly. So plenty to see and do with the New South Wales Hill Climb Championship. Jeff Kite says that rally is right up there on his bucket list. I'm pretty sure he'd know exactly how to do some rallying in that
probably
Commodore
probably not in a Commodore though.
Be pretty cool to see.
Be sound awesome.
Speaking of things that are cool to see, we've got some onboard from Jordan Cox at Bathurst, an IPRA driver racing a Datsun 1200
with a 1.8 litre turbo engine in it.
Exactly. So
John Boston, courtesy of.
Some pretty cool footage. So we'll play that for you now to get an idea of IPRA up at the mountain.
This was the best See you later.
That one's
How
for
good
Ray.
is that?
Oh, geez. I tell you what, you think, Jordan Cox is peddling it, and then all of a sudden Ray goes straight past. So.
In case you don't know, that's Ray Hislop in the Ford Falcon BF that went past and got up to 4th position.
Yep.
Jordan did get into the top 10, but had that oil breather issue that he had in the first race come back to haunt the car, and unfortunately he pulled up on Mountain Straight and then had to drive it back after the race the wrong way down Mountain Straight, which is something, well, he didn't drive it, he coasted because it wasn't under his
found it pretty hard to drive at that moment in time.
Yeah.
But anyway. But I tell you what, it's so cool to be watching something from Jordan Cox at Bathurst.
Don't you love watching those guys cutting through the field? And you can see it's not the fastest car in a straight line yet.
Yeah.
Some pretty audacious moves to get past other competitors, particularly over the top of the mountain.
3 wide at the top of the mountain is pretty
Yeah.
good. We also, speaking of endurance racing, from Bathurst to Wakefield Park, the Wakefield Park 300 was on last weekend. We had a few guys there racing around with the trucks and legend cars, and Excels were there as well.
Yeah,
so
Legends
good
only
fields
did
in the bunch of them.
the Saturday race.
Yep.
Racing. They only ran 1 round. Normally they run 2 rounds in a meeting. Their first 2 rounds were at Queensland Raceway. They had their 1 round, and of course James Berg won all 4 races. Ben Jager was second, even despite having a spin in the start of race 3, and managed to get back to second as well. A bit distant in that one, of course. And then of course we had XLs, a good quality size field there with some interesting
32
things.
cars in the final race.
That was pretty
That's
good.
good to
It was
commentate.
it wasn't too bad. The main problem was that one of the cars went off at turn 4 and dropped a bit of oil, and that unfortunately caught out a couple of our leaders, and then another car went off down at turn 8, and that took out a couple of cars that were running 2nd and 3rd.
So Will
second and
Longmore
four.
took home the victory in that one.
He did.
Jackson
Paul
Oaks,
Quinn
second
was the
home.
one that was leading, and he unfortunately got
jeez.
caught at,
That DNF'd.
well, he got caught up
okay.
on the oil at turn 4, and that put him out of the race, out of the 3rd race, and
Yep.
he'd won the 2nd race, and Will had won the 1st race. So Will took the points, and he's
Yeah.
leading the series. So
So if you want to check out Excel Racing, head to New South Wales Excels on Facebook.
Yeah.
Series X3
That's
Excels
right.
now on the Facebook page. So plenty there, and then we'll take a look at the Wakefield 300. Sorry?
interesting race, the
Wakefield
Wakefield
300.
300.
We've got a bit of footage
So-
from this one as well, so
yeah,
we'll chuck that on screen.
It's the 13th running of the race.
Yep.
Had 1 safety car over the 300 kilometres or 137 laps, and they actually did it in a record time for the event of 2 hours 43 minutes and some
20
seconds.
seconds. That's it.
And the winners in an RX-7 were Brandon Scotcher and Greg Boyle. They actually won the race by a lap over Benny Tran and Drew Hall, who were 2nd spot. And 3rd spot went to Terry Denovan, who we know from the Motor Racing Australia. He actually ran the event
I was
single-handedly.
going to say, can you run it solo?
Yeah, apparently, they changed the rules, so there's no minimum drivers or anything like that. And the crux of the win was there was only 2 Class A cars.
Yep.
The Lotus G's, which went out early when it broke the tyre rod,
Yep.
and then the other car, which was the sister car or stable car to the Tran Hall one, which was driven by Matt Longhurst and Jimmy Tran.
Yeah.
Sorry, Benny Tran. It unfortunately, because it had to do 2 pit stops and they didn't have the car under them at this meeting, that was going to get them 2 to 3 laps advantage, which they would have needed to compensate for the 2nd stop. And then they had a rear wheel issue towards the end of the race and got home in 29th position, which just, they weren't in the hunt. So Class B cars, which is the 1-stop finish, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. And the secret of it was that the winning car opted not to pit at the safety car,
Okay.
which
Yep.
was short of half distance. So when the Tran Hall car pitted, unfortunately they had to stop again for fuel. So that was the difference. So the winners actually split the race in half,
Yep.
so they could get through on fuel. And then of course towards the end there, the 2nd place car had a tyre delay, and unfortunately had to go to the pits. And we're actually looking at footage, and you can explain this one a bit better.
This is from the Daniel Flanagan American Maloof Evo 8. Evo 8, there we go. Prime Finance car that had a good run on the weekend. They were running some footage out of the car during the race, and
Yeah, they had
good to see Merrick as well with the AMRS this year, supporting Thunder Sports, which are going to have a huge round at Talon Bend on June 22-23. I believe he's also come on board as a sponsor of the category, so great to have Prime Finance on board with one of our regular groups, Thunder Sports, who are putting on some great racing. But yeah, these guys, they had a bit of a tough run in the middle of the race.
Early in the race they had a run. They had a couple of stops early, and then the thing decided to behave itself and went on through to the end.
Which is good for them.
Of course, being a class-structured race, there was a father and son combination of Trevor and James Keane, one in Class C and Class C or D. Just taking it off the screen then.
Took it away from you. Here you go. There's that.
Yeah.
How do you found it?
I can't read it. It's too far away. And Class D. Class C went to Nick Cox and Adam Gosling, who finished fourth outright in their BMW, and the Keens won Class D and Class.
Went to Matt Shyland.
Yeah, Matt Shyland and can't remember. It was go driving with them, but in the little BMW 318.
So,
but as I said, one safety car. It was a good event, and as it seems to always do, it just it had its dramas, and we've seen that on that weekend.
We've been to the Winton 300 before with live streaming here on Blendline TV, and that event produced a lot of action. So I'm pretty sure they're planning to run a Winton 300 at the end of the year as well. Not exactly sure.
I think that's on. There's a couple of events towards the end of the year. We've got to keep an eye.
Whole of them in
there's
November,
a Ken Lee HQ4 out.
Early December.
There's XLs are running a similar format.
Yep.
As well.
That's last year. Yep.
Which is 4 hours, but split into two-hour races over Saturday and Sunday, and possibly I think they had mini challenge, East Coast mini challenge on there, and a couple other things. So be nice if we can go down and have a look at that. But we leave that in the hands of those who want the support and want the coverage.
Exactly. Now having a look at things, we've got the calendar for this weekend. A bit of an abridged calendar this week, as there is
not much on.
Quite quiet week before we end up at late May and early June with a lot of events deciding to spark up for what will be the Queen's Birthday long weekend. So let's take a look now at what's on this weekend in motorsport around the country.
Western Australia, Northern Territory, you name it. There's something on somewhere.
Heading to the Northern Territory for
the North Australian Motorsports Car Club Point Score Championship, round 2 at Hidden Valley. They have improved production Commodore Cup HQs, and I believe they run a Motorcana on Saturday as well. It's always an interesting one, and a lot of those guys will be doing their homework and get ready for the combined sedans, which will be running up there when the supercars get there in June.
And that's going to be big as well. And here they've got a split grid.
Yeah, they're going to run combined sedans over 2 grids, under 2 litre with HQs, and the rest all teamed together in a separate race. Here we've got the Kari Rally, round 2 of the West Australian Rally Championship, as well as their 2-wheel drive championship, Clubman Masters and Clubman Cup, and that's running same time the Australian Rally Championship's running in Canberra. So
a bit of rally going on. We had Vic Rally last week, New South Wales and Australian Rally this weekend in Canberra, and WA Rally
as well
this weekend as well. I'll tell you what, Canberra rallies might be a bit interesting with weather report seems to be floating around.
Exactly. Brooklyn King of the Hill. Now this is not actually a round of a championship, it's a one-off event that on a short course at Williams Property in Brooktown, Western Australia, and apparently it's pretty popular on their calendar out there, and one that they just slot in between a couple of rounds of their championship.
So it looks like a good fun event. Nose diving the off-road buggy.
I don't think here they
plenty going on though. It looks like the splash is heading the wrong way on the poster.
I think that's
anyway,
does for you.
That's our calendar for this weekend. A lot of off-road, but not much tarmac happening. I think there's a few super sprints and regularities going on as well. So keep an eye out on your local tracks pages. You might be able to get a track day in. That's about all we've got this week on Blendline TV Live. Continuing our last couple of weeks, we're going to be bringing you some action from our archives. Of course, we have an extensive archives of races now from the last few years of filming. And Gary, we sort of touched on this one a couple of weeks ago. It's the historic touring cars over in WA from 2017.
Well, anyone that was watching some of the supercars last week and get a taste of what we're about to see, and this is all raw, of course.
Yep, turn it up, enjoy the race noises. It's 2 races back to back, as they were shorter races at that meeting, so we've decided to put 2 together. Plenty of great vehicles. You've got Tiranas, Falcons, Monaros, Minis, Chargers, all sorts going around. So until next week, make sure to tune in next week, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. here on Bltv Live. We'll try to bring you all of the information from the weekend and the weeks of motorsport that's been going on. We'll take a look at what's coming up for New South Wales State in a couple of weeks' time at Wakefield Park, the 25th anniversary event for Wakefield Park as well. So we will get down there for New South Wales sports stands and production touring cars. I think production touring cars head into their season of endurance at Wakefield Park this coming round, so that will be very interesting as well.
Yeah, look forward to that.
And we'll start to preview that on next week's show. But until then, I'm Daniel. Joining me was Gary.
Yeah, all the best. Have a good weekend.
Enjoy this historic racing, and we'll see you at the track soon.
Here at Barcelona Raceway, red light is flashing, and we are racing in a wonderful start from Greg Barney. Dives deep on the right-hand side, and he's coming out to Bobby. He goes across on the outside, heading in a matter of seconds, but a great and a great launch by John Bondi in the orange. Well, have a look at the Ford Escort of North blasting its way through the line as they got past each other.
Just had a
Satchwell just from a fast finishing Greg Barr in the MG1 Giraffe.